Hey everybody, happy spring and welcome to another episode of PGP Vlogs with Brandon and Doyung. Today we'll be giving you guys an inside scoop on Technical Machine, a company started by a group of Olin alumni.
They made the Tesla, which is an open source microcontroller that you can program using JavaScript for rapid prototyping. We interviewed Tim Ryan, a member of Technical Machine, so let's go see what he said.
Hi, my name is Timothy Ryan, and my major was engineering with a concentration in computing. Tesla was born out of a scope project that we had done, which we were given a huge amount of autonomy on for Facebook. Our senior capstone project was to create physical things that interacted with your online persona. Fundamentally, it isn't coming up with the ideas, it's the tools behind them which are too difficult. John, Jolly, and myself were the three co-founders of Technical Machine. We decided pretty early on at Olin that we wanted to form a startup, and we didn't really have the opportunity until after our senior year. But it was definitely Olin's culture of trying to cultivate innovation and combining it with design that got us to the first ideas that we tried out when we wanted to form a company. The biggest way that Olin helped us was probably in connections. I was a member of the foundry board for pretty much my entire career at Olin, on and off. And it wasn't until my senior year that we actually tried to go out and form a company that I realized the power that connections at Olin had in terms of getting us applied to incubators, finding out about programs in Boston, finding out about ways to raise money. And although there was a lot of culture of support behind it, a lot of the programs which I had been a part of, which were encouraging entrepreneurship, such as contests and trying to create entrepreneurship ideas, or the foundry or space provided, it really came through to me that it was the people at Olin who were the most valuable resource there. Technical Machine decided to work at Greentown, mostly because of its environment.
Whoa, wait a second. What's Greentown Labs?
Let me tell you, Doyung. Greentown Labs is an incubator in Somerville targeted towards green tech startup companies. It has 33,000 square feet of office space with prototyping labs, machine shops, and even electronics shops too.
Wow, the more you know.
It's true that we're not necessarily a green tech energy company, but the moment that we got here and got a desk and started working, we started hearing about the problems that all the other companies had. And a lot of them are working with Arduinos, a lot of them are working with electronics. And we were like, great, that's market validation. We didn't have to leave our desk. But it's also true that all these companies are in the same stage as we are, more or less. Some have been professionals in the business for 20 years, but they're all small startups. And it's just amazing to see 20 companies packed into a very roomy environment, but all focusing on the same, well, how do we get customer validation? We're meeting with investors, how do we get the next 10K? How do we actually get something deployed in a particular area? What is the next revision going to look like? What are our timelines? So that it doesn't really matter what energy, what field you're focusing on, but it does matter what stage of the company you are, because you are able to make connections with people that are doing the same thing as you effectively. And there's still opportunity to say, well, we both are sharing the same problems. Can we share knowledge and experience here in order to make it better? The team dynamic at Technical Machine is pretty much like an Olin class project. Not just because John, myself, and Jalia had worked on our senior capstone project, and a lot of this had come out of that, but just because we had the opportunity to sort of form a team around people who we know and really trusted their skill set. And over time, it kind of became obvious that it's not really something that Oliners are lacking in. Everyone has a useful skill set. Sometimes you don't even see it at first, even though you've been working with them for years. But putting Oliners in an environment where they're able to do something creative and they have responsibility, it really brings out the best in them, which is exciting. There are two major things that I didn't take advantage of when I was in school at Olin that I think are really important. And the first one is going to be hard to hear, but it's definitely networking. And the foundry at Olin and entrepreneurship defined itself a lot by networking, but it really isn't about going out and meeting powerful people or trying to forge fake connections at different groups. It's really about finding people with common interests. So, for example, we got funded by Rough Draft VC, which has close ties with Olin. Some of Oliners have been on the board of Rough Draft VC, and that provides small-scale funding for students on the weight of like $5K to $20K in order to get their idea off the ground. And it wasn't about, well, we need to meet people with money in order to start our idea. It was, well, we're going to be more successful in pursuing technical machine and getting off the ground if we have more funding. And there are people in Boston who have more connections, but are also very interested in technology and interested in bringing more attention to schools in Boston. So it's like, great, part of Olin's mission is to bring more attention to engineering education and the interesting things that can happen at Olin. So that sort of synergy there was how that connection started. And the fact that we were able to network in a way and actually get funding through them was just a result of, well, we have a common interest. The second thing that would be most important to me is seeing that Oliners do not miss out on the opportunity to take a variety of different classes. Very much I was focused on computing degrees at Olin, and I took a lot of CS classes. I very much narrowly focused on doing design and entrepreneurship, which related to CS. But right now I'm working in electronics, which I actually don't know that much about. So Olin affords me the capability of being able to be in an environment where I have to learn a lot, but man, do I wish I took advantage of some of the things that I had opportunity to do at school, like classes and workshops and the other resources that we have there.
So that was a really good interview with Tim Ryan, and hope you guys learned a lot from it.
We had a great time there, and you should really go check out Greentown Labs. It's actually right next to Artisans Asylums for those 50 people who actually watched their video last week. So go check that out. They're both in Somerville, and we'll see you all next time.
So I will repeat what I said my first week of freshman year. Mark Somerville is my spirit animal. I don't remember.
Hashtag Mark Somerville.
Hashtag Mark Somerville. All right.